Can we talk about the animation there for a second? Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's TonyXTony, and don't forget the eggs. But I'm super excited today because we're about to react to this video called Top 10 Most Badass Luffy Moments in One Piece. And I'm gonna just shout out this dude's channel first of all because he's doing God's work by making this compilation video for us. And it's 2 years old, so like, don't be too upset about the rankings, you know, it's just for fun. VinnyTube, and I'll have his video linked in my, this video linked in my description if you want to watch it without me. Here we go. And check this out.
Adventure Hound, Reckless, Goofball, Big Grin, not the brightest bulb in the box. These are the descriptors that immediately come to mind when you think about Monkey D. Luffy. But occasionally, our childlike hero and pirate extraordinaire does something so crazily awesome, you realize there's more to him than meets the eye. He demands your respect and admiration, and you give it gladly.
I disagree with that whole the first initial thing that he was saying, but like, I digress.
When it comes to ability and sheer pluck, Luffy's got it all. He might not think things through and might get his crewmates in a tough spot more than once because of his impulsiveness, but he's also innately kind, just, brave, and generous. He's got all the qualities of a hero, and when he shows this side of his character, the only way to describe him is badass. Paying tribute to these heroic qualities, here are the top 10 badass Luffy moments in One Piece.
Alright, here we go, y'all. This one's pretty badass. Everything leading up
At
to
number
this
10,
shit.
Luffy shows us what a terrifying monster he can be by knocking out 50,000 fishman pirates with his conqueror's haki. While Luffy used this unique form of haki, which only a chosen few can wield on several occasions throughout the series, his display on Fishman Island is amongst the most memorable. It's not just the numbers he defeats, but also his prowess at using this god-given power. The slack-jawed look of shock and surprise on Hodie's face says all there is to say of the impact Luffy has on the enemy's morale with this show of strength. Luffy's actions have an immediate and deep impact. While his battle with Hodie goes the whole hog and even gives him some trouble, this early moment shows that Luffy's victory is but inevitable.
Let me just talk about the Hody fight real quick, because that was a crazy moment in One Piece whenever you just start to see how much they've grown as characters. This is after Sabaody Archipelago. We all know what happened. They all got demolished. Kuma sent them all to their individual islands. They had to go level up. So this is right after that. They come back, and we're all ready to see what they look like now. Like, how strong are they type stuff. And they lived up to everything that we hoped, and yeah, good times.
Next up is Luffy one-shotting Bellamy in the Jaya arc.
Oh yeah.
Before his rather unexpected and moving character progression in the Dressrosa arc, Bellamy's a small-time thug whose arrogance, cynicism, and all-round bad behavior make him insufferable. He's called Bellamy the Hyena, and he lives up to his nickname, emulating the animal's physical features and opportunistic tendencies. In Jaya, Bellamy picks a fight with Luffy in a bar. When Luffy, in a rare show of maturity, refuses to engage in a meaningless brawl, Bellamy beats up and humiliates the Straw Hat Captain and Zoro. And nobody beats up Luffy and gets away with it. It's just not done. Bellamy gets his comeuppance when Luffy one-shots him in the middle of town, knocking him out cold and shutting him up for good, right in the middle of his springy dance. It's an intensely satisfying punch, one that even Saitama would be proud of.
Yeah. And the other thing with that one is, what was I gonna say about that? You know, Bellamy is kind of like a tragic character in a lot of ways, but he kind of comes full circle. You see him struggling with his... First of all, he wants to be on Doflamingo's crew, which is funny that he comes up next. Doflamingo decides that he's gonna use and abuse bro, and it's just crazy how Bellamy, and he doesn't want to believe that that's the case, so he's in denial. All this during Dressrosa. It's just so crazy that One Piece, the world's so small but so big at the same time. Like, Luffy's encountering all these people that are so intertwined because, like, the world's so intertwined. The world of pirates is almost like the world of being an artist. Like, once you're in the community of artists, the world of artists is small, but if you're outside of that, it looks like it's just the biggest thing ever. So
coming in at number 8 is Luffy's revelation of Gear 4th Bound Man.
yeah. Oh, I love this form, bro. Like, some people hate.
When it's a pleasure to watch Luffy go from strength to strength with each gear, 4th gear is the most visually arresting of the lot. In the bruising battle against Don Quixote do Flamingo, Luffy goes into Gear 4th by biting down on his forearm and inflating his body with air to resemble a giant balloon, while also enhancing his muscle strength. The transformation is dramatic as it is, but series creator Ichiro Oda makes it even more fantastic with the addition of some kabuki-style theatrics. In the fight, Luffy uses the 4th gear technique Bound Man, which allows him to bounce up and down and gain incredible speed and power. It's the perfect counter to Dofi, who's no lightweight in the power department.
Not at all. Not at all. You know what's funny about that part though? Like, he ain't no lightweight, but he is low-key kind of mid. Like, once you start to know exactly how just like strong the world continues to be in the world of One Piece, Doflamingo starts to look like a peon, to be honest with you. Like, this is no shade towards Dofi. I do not dislike Doflamingo, but bro really is not that strong in the world of One Piece. And Luffy at this point wasn't either. Like, there's people that would have, Kaido, bro. Kaido one-shotted Luffy like 80 times before Luffy finally was able to catch some smoke with him. So, it's just interesting.
For the next badass moment, we have Luffy doing what he does best, making a spectacle of himself in the most unconventional manner.
Epic.
The watershed battle of Marineford to save Ace from being executed by the Marines begins in earnest when Luffy falls from the sky from an upturned boat, a bunch of ragtag allies on his heels. The sight of Luffy and his noisy crew free-falling into the fight arena sends shockwaves throughout the Marines and pirates down below. Considering how the battle ends, this entrance is both comical and irreverent, the complete opposite of Whitebeard's epic entrance a little earlier in the day. The lightheartedness of it all prevents any foreshadowing of the darkness and tragedy that's just about to come. In fact, Luffy brings with him a sense of hope that all will be well. But despite everything that happens, Luffy's grand entrance can never be forgotten.
Yeah.
At number 6, we have Luffy.
Imagine being Ace and seeing that, bro. Like, Luffy, what are you doing here, my dog? You're gonna die. Like, it'd be like the feeling of both being extremely excited, but do y'all got pets? Like, you know, whenever your pet wants to follow you outside, like, yeah, you're excited to see the pet, but like, I'm not saying to Ace Luffy's a pet. I'm just saying, like, the fear that you have whenever you see somebody or something that you care about being in a situation that you know that they're not really equipped for, then that's where I feel like Ace was. But like, still happy to see him because it's like, yo, I love you.
He's sucker punching Kaido in his dragon form in their very first meeting in Wano.
This is 2 years ago, so I'm not really sure where the anime was up to this.
If there's anything Luffy excels at, it's being impulsive and doing the opposite of what he should be doing. After the Lord Luffy alliance arrives in Wano, the strategy they adopt is to keep a low profile and work in secrecy to bring down the Yonko. But their plans go up in smoke as Luffy not only reveals himself to Kaido in a fit of rage, but also chases him down and lands a punch on him, powerful enough to slam him senseless into the ground. True, Kaido's drunk as a skunk when he's brought down by a single hit to the head, but the fact that Kaido's in his dragon form at this moment is a testimony to Luffy's power and bravado. It also raises the anticipation sky high for the duo's final clash, which should definitely be worth the wait.
Yeah, but the wild thing is, at this point, like I was saying, this is hot off the Whole Cake Island. So like, Luffy was even stronger than he was against Doflamingo, which goes to show you the gap that like exists between Doflamingo and Kaido, because Doflamingo truly was scared of Kaido, bro. He did not want no smoke with him. That's what he was pissed off about whenever they destroyed the factories, because he's like, I do not want the smoke with Kaido. He's different. And just to see the amount of growth that Luffy had to go through, first of all, he had to be able to conquer Doflamingo, who's scared of Kaido. So, as we see here, he hits him with all he's got. That Gear 3rd looking fire. I know he's got Gear 4th at the time, but like still, we saw with Gear 4th. Gear 4th was getting smoke and never didn't get smoke from Kaido. Like, Kaido was just, he never, Gear 4th at this point in the story can't beat Kaido. And that's why Gear 5th was invented and type stuff. But just dope to see. It's dope to see the progression. Epic, bro. The amount of destruction. Sometimes I just want to see what it looked like afterwards. They don't always show.
In the 5th spot is Luffy using Conqueror's Haki during the Battle of Marineford.
Yeah.
As the Executioner's blades come down on Ace and the situation looks dire, Luffy unleashes this incredible power, felling the killers of most of the pirates and marines. This Haki display is totally different from the one on Fishman Island. For one, Luffy's actions in Marineford are unconscious, born out of desperation to save his brother. Even as those around him are stunned, Luffy's completely unaware of what he's done. Secondly, he manages to subdue a much more powerful crowd. Compared to the Fishman pirates, the Marineford gang is made up of some of the fiercest pirates and toughest marines. It's safe to say, this is the moment Luffy officially announces his arrival in the New World.
There's nothing else to say. Marineford was just like Marineford. It was definitely one of those ones that's like, it definitely helped to solidify One Piece as a series. Not to say that up to this point that it wasn't like a great series, because we all know that it was, but it really changed the way that everybody perceives the story. Like, from this point moving forward, it's impossible to see them as this innocent crew that's just like kind of going through the motions, because we finally seen something happen that like was so devastating to Luffy that couldn't be undone from the actions that they normally be taking. So crazy. Oh, speaking of actions that can't be taken back.
Next up is Luffy declaring war on the world government in Enies lobby.
We need Soga King back, bro.
The arc to rescue Robin from the CP9, a group of assassins on the government's payrolls, is one of the most heartfelt in the entire series. It really captures the spirit of the theme of Nakama that runs through One Piece like blood in the veins. Usopp, in his Soge King disguise, puts in an MVP performance as he, on Luffy's orders, shoots down the world government's symbol of power, its flag, with a fiery slingshot. The burning flag is a burning example of just how far Luffy and his crew are willing to go for one of their own and for what they believe to be just and right. This moment comes early in the series, but it's such a powerful one, it can't be forgotten in a hurry.
Break it on, bro.
Number 3 is Luffy facing off against the 3 admirals in the Marineford arc, which, as you would have realized by now, is a minefield of
Also, let's take a second to also another Marineford clip, just to point that out, that this is definitely one of the best parts of the story. But let me go back real quick. Yeah, bro. Like, the ending of this arc was one of my favorite endings of any arc, where Mary just like pops up. That stuff was crazy. At the moment, I had no idea what kind of out there could possibly be for Luffy, because there just didn't seem to be nothing that could happen. And he couldn't move. His body wasn't responding. We finally see these 2 new crazy forms that are just like outrageously sick. And it all falters and Luffy can't continue moving forward. Next thing you know, his resolve of saving
Number 3
Robin
is Luffy facing off against the 3 admirals in the Marineford arc, which, as you would have realized by now, is a minefield of impactful moments.
Yeah. Man, Luffy's a badass, bro. They ain't scared. Like, at this point, they're just looking
The
like...
three admirals, Aokiji, Akainu, and Kizaru, are the true symbols of the Navy's power, each gifted with a devil fruit power so mighty that they're a threat to the fiercest pirates. Going up against even one of them could mean certain defeat, maybe even death. And yet Luffy's neither afraid nor hesitant when he pole vaults his way to get in their collective face. He's clearly exhausted from fighting his way through, weak from the seawater, and desperate to save Ace. But his glaring eyes show no fear. On the other hand, the terror on Ace's face makes it all too clear what great danger Luffy might have landed himself in. Thanks to this poster-worthy moment, we can't wait for that inevitable final clash between Luffy and the Marines' top brass.
Yeah.
In the runner-up spot is Luffy challenging Big Mom for the second time.
つまらねえ話だな、ビッグマム。あ？結婚しなかったのがローラだろ?
Now, Charlotte Lin isn't the kind of woman you make an enemy of, even by accident. She not only has one of the most fearsome devil fruit powers, she's also extremely cruel, tyrannical, and unpredictable. Luffy, who knows no fear, has had a hostile relationship with her from the get-go. He first picks a fight with her without ever having laid eyes on her. But it's his second challenge that leaves all witnesses to the scene, including the Yonko herself, speechless. This one, too, like the first one, takes place over Denden Mushi. Captured and jailed on Whole Cake Island, Luffy not only mocks Big Mom for her controlling ways and her ambition of becoming the king of pirates, but he also vows to take back Sanji and have the last laugh in their contest. From how it looks, it's clearly a case of an ant challenging an elephant. The look of outrage and incredulous belief on Big Mom's face says it all.
Sanjiは必ず取り返す。最後に勝つのは俺たちだ。
Yeah. Okay, so this is a wild take, but like I almost feel bad for Big Mom because I understand wanting to get your lick back, bro. Like Luffy started it with Big Mom, and he's done nothing but talk reckless every single time that she gets the chance to like finally, you know, approach him as an enemy. He always finds a way to slither his way out and win or get away. Like basically Luffy is her kryptonite because she can't stop bro. And she even went all the way to Wano from her island, left it defenseless while homeboy was running, you know, Blackbeard squad was running wild, rampant through Whole Cake, getting stuff accomplished, all because she decided that she wanted to go try to chase Luffy. Luffy had no intention of being like fighting her at the time whenever he was in Whole Cake. He tried to roll, and he would have probably fought her in Wano if he had to, but like it just never really happened. Like the opportunity didn't come because, you know, obviously Law and Kid took that fight. So I know she's sick because she's like, bro, I should just not have even come. Like if Kaido was gonna lose eventually anyways, like, well, what am I doing here?
Punching its way straight to the top of the list is Luffy punching a celestial dragon. This is the moment that defines Luffy as the upstart who's not afraid of anyone, not least of those undeservedly holding on to positions of great power and influence. It also shows how deeply Luffy cares for his friends, how little he cares for an established order that discriminates against certain people, and how he has his own strong sense of justice. The slow walk up the stairs of the auction house, where the snivelly Saint Charlos has just shot Hachi simply for fun, is now iconic. So is the dangerous look in Luffy's eyes before he unleashes that swinging punch smack dab into Noble's face. In the One Piece universe, the Celestial Dragons are portrayed as weak yet powerful, privileged yet irresponsible, cruel and lacking compassion. To see one of their worst get his just desserts is such sweet satisfaction. That it's Luffy who enforces this much needed justice makes him that much more badass.
Charlo stay getting that ass beat, bro. Can we talk about the animation there for a second? Just beautiful, bro. Just beautiful. Everything about that scene was just like so fluid. I love how it went from the black to the white, and the intensity is so palpable through the screen. And I'm just like, man, I can just feel it. It's so tangible. And like the scream, you don't really see Luffy screaming, but you can feel him screaming, and it's just so crazy. I absolutely love this scene, and honestly I feel like this one is a deserved #1 spot. especially for this time period.
And that's it for the top 10 badass Luffy moments in One Piece.
Okay, so good video. Let me find a cool, interesting little spot. There's got to be something. Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Long story short, all these I agree, and the amount of moments that Luffy has had that are super badass are like innumerable. So I'm not gonna try to like say that this list is wrong or anything, but I do want to throw in some honorable mentions that just come to my mind. And one is whenever Luffy puts his foot underneath a Doflamingo's when Dofi's about to stomp on Law's head, like in Dressrosa, because they didn't really include too many Dressrosa moments. Fair enough, because they only had 10 spots, but that moment was crazy. He was like, the Luffy just puts his foot under there and stops it, and he's looking up at him. You just see the size difference between the two. Oh, so sick. Also, I don't think they got to the part of Wano to even really talk too much about anything Wano related at this point, past that, like the punch that he did on Kaido for Gear 3, because I know they probably would have included other stuff if it was possible. So I'm not gonna really approach that too much. We also got, you know, a lot of the stuff that happened with Katakuri could have been included in this, like him unlocking Snake Man, like that was sick. Or even there's just so many good moments. We got the stuff with Enel where he's doing like the mindless Luffy. I think that was pretty badass. There's the moment where he actually defeats Enel. There's the moment where he defeats Crocodile, where he like spits up the water and it comes back down onto him. I can think of hella moments where we could have really just like chosen these, but it's like, it's so subjective, bro. What do you think is cool? What's lit to you? Let's see what people are saying in the comments. Happiness is when you realize that more than half of these won't even make the list when the series is done. Yeah, that's facts. The Luffy versus 3 Admirals scene with the animation, OST, which is the music soundtrack, voice acting, one of the most badass anime moments ever. Yeah, legit. Underrated badass moment for Luffy is when he carried Sanji and Nami up the blistering cold. Yeah, that's a great moment. Whenever he's up on the mountain in Drum Island, going up the whole thing, he is so, bro. He almost died trying to save them too. He was completely, basically like naked to the elements. Yeah, we could do a top 10 Zoro moments. I'll react to that. Marineford arc is goated. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have watched One Piece. My goodness, I don't regret watching all those episodes. Dang, that's wild to hear. Oh, right here. Luffy giving Nami his hat in Arlong Park could have been an honorable mention, but then again, there are so many great lists. So many more great lists, though. Thank you. So, honestly, I agree with that. It's just too many good moments, and all these moments are good, so I don't want to argue it, bro. Or sis, whoever made this, it don't matter too much. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you guys came to watch this live reaction with me. I love doing these kind of things. It's just like watching YouTube videos, so might as well watch them with y'all. Thanks for stopping through. Peace.